communities or the psychological communities that I've noticed, through some of the individuals that I have watched or may have learned from. I've never really done this, so I guess as I progress and continue to grow, hopefully I can spark up some conversations with some of you in regards to anything that I may find, and hopefully we can come to a mutual common ground, mutual understanding together and move forward together. And I just watched this video earlier today. They're lying to you through their teeth. Spot a Liar by Ralph Smart. Most of us know him as Infinite Waters. So let's see if we can find some contrast in this very influential being.
Another beautiful day, deep divers, in this paradise. I'm in a good mood, deep divers, because I'm like, wait a minute, Ralph, you get to connect with so many authentic people every single day. You see, I pride myself on Infinite Waters on keeping it real, and that's what we do here. And right now, with so much happening on the planet, a lot of people are like, Ralph, I think they're lying to me. I think the media are lying to me. I think the government are lying to me. They're lying to you through their teeth. Spot a liar. I'm going to show you how you can spot a liar very easily. We got a whole lot to talk about. Those birds are like, Ralph, I love you. I love you too. Raising the frequency. I love you too, deep divers. Raising the vibration. Butterflies everywhere. I'm just, woo! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Peace. Infinite Waters. Diving deep once again. Beautiful deep divers. We are out here in the heart of nature, baby. Now, they're lying to you through their teeth. Spot a liar. I would rather a bit of truth than a sweet lie. I don't care how bad the truth is, just tell me it. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. I wrote down, we live in a world so fake, the truth actually scares people. Look. Boo! Ah! Well, it doesn't scare me, because the truth will set you free. I know it will piss you off first, but it will set you free. Now, a lot of people are scratching their heads saying, wait a minute, something is not adding up. With everything that's happening on the planet right now, something is not adding up. They're refusing to drink the Kool-Aid. And I'm here to remind you, you're not crazy, you're just waking up. If you can see through the Maya in this matrix, the illusion world, congratulations. Meanwhile in India, okay, they closed down temples there, and they actually closed down one temple, and the people weren't having it. They're like, no, we're gonna go to the temple anyway, right? They weren't having it in India. Now, I told you, the inorganic ones, the Lord of the Underworld, controls this world through deception, the great deceiver, lies. And all lies have an expiry date. What we are seeing right now is the full disclosure. We're now seeing the hidden come to light. And right now, a lot of people are realizing everything they know is a big fat lie. Everything you were taught is wrong. It's a lie. Yes, I know, it's a hard pill to swallow, but it's the red pill, deep divers. It's the red pill of truth. Now, even in the music industry, they lie to us openly. Like, a lot of people were mad at Lil Nas X for that song, Call Me By Your Name. But then he tweeted, wait a minute, don't you know what Old Town Road was about? Oh, it was about lean and adultery, and you let your children listen to it. Blame yourselves. You see, there are so many subliminal messages, even in songs. Like in the 60s, they said, rewind the song, and there's a whole nother message, right? And this is how they deceive us all. So, remind yourself, if you feel something is off, you're not crazy, you're just waking up. That's your intuition. That's your inner voice. And don't let anybody tell you you're crazy, deep divers. No, you're just waking up. And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? Beautiful deep divers. I'm just, woo, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. They're lying to you through their teeth. Spot a liar. Now in 1988, a film was released called They Live. And the lead character, he was trying to find the meaning of life. And he actually saw a pair of glasses and he put them on. And then he started to see all of these subliminal messages in billboards. Like, so a billboard would say, sail on. But then he would put on the glasses and it would say, obey, submit, consume, no independent thought, marry and reproduce, and marry and reproduce, and obey authority. And all of these subliminal messages when he put the glasses on, okay, they live. So in 1988, that was science fiction. Right now is science fact that we are being deceived every single day with subliminal messages. And right now we can see it. Even in the film, he would watch the news and actually see they were aliens and they were robots devoid of any real soul, okay? Exactly what's happening right now. Dr. Fauci, when this outbreak first happened, he said, you don't need to wear a mask. And right now he's saying, hey, you need to wear a mask, right? So when we're trying to identify if something is truthful or it's a lie, if they're making it up as they go along and they're changing the story here and there, yeah, it's a lie. Deep dives, right? Anytime.
Okay, so I noticed that he's using the word like they a lot, and he's clearly trying to talk to an audience. And he's giving away his own power by even acknowledging these other beings. And, you know, he would say that he's acknowledging them for you guys, so you could acknowledge the beings that you've been potentially giving away your power to, you know, believing in the lies that they share with you, whether it be obey their rules and regulations or suggest you behavioral traits that will ultimately lead you into self-harm and self-destruction. However, when it comes to learning more about what I truly am, let me just speak about myself. I realize that I am everything. Everything is a reflection of my entire self. I'm not just this specific body. And so, knowing that, I decide what is true and what isn't true in this space that is me, in this realm, on this planet. And so, the biggest lie is separation. The biggest illusion is separation. And I'm not hearing oneness and completion within the vocabulary that he is choosing to use right now, you know, and how he's explaining everything. Give me 1 second. So while yes, he is speaking about very valid concepts, you know, like people are becoming mad at Lil Nas X or anybody for their own desire to watch these things, their own desire to pay their attention to what they don't like, what they don't want, which also involves money. A lot of people don't like money, yet we still use it to this day, and we only use it because we don't trust one another. We don't trust one another because we truly believe that we are separate from everyone else, and that is just not true. So hopefully we can learn to gain more clarity on that, and hopefully I can hear that within some of these influential speakers, because that is what needs to be spoken about truly, is how we're all connected. We're all one, yet we're all different in our own uniqueness. That doesn't mean we're separate. Let's continue.
As well, someone is gaslighting you. This happens a lot in abusive relationships. It's called gaslighting, okay? And that's when you make someone actually doubt their own sanity. They're like, oh.
First of all, you can't make anybody doubt their own sanity. You can't make anybody believe anything. They believe you. If you can convince someone that you believe something about them, then they will believe it as well. And then that's where they mess up, because they end up believing that you believe something negative about themselves, and they believe that it's true. And that is when they will start to doubt their own behavior, because they're giving too much value to your opinion. Let's say if you're the one trying to gaslight somebody. Gaslighting is really let's give an example of for myself. Like, I would express who I am as a person to beings that claim to want to know about me, and as I begin to open up about myself, I understand that I'm one with everything. I have this continuous relationship with God, nature, life, source, whatever name. And I was speaking to somebody who was religious, and they began to gaslight me, meaning they would assume that I was telling them to believe what I understood about life. And that was not the case. But the reason they felt this way was because within their own paradigm, within their own life, they were made to believe the religion they claim they love. And so when they hear me speak, they automatically assume that I'm speaking with the same intention as their past experiences, as some of the beings within their past experiences. So knowing the difference is very important, because no one can really gaslight you. They just kind of gaslight themselves, and that's when they end up exploding. They get extremely angry at you if you don't allow that to affect you. Really, they're just making their fire bigger, and they're only burning themselves ultimately. So what we should be reminding people is not that you're susceptible to being gaslighted. No, you should be reminded of how powerful you are, and how great you are, and how peaceful and how balanced you are truly, how much love you truly have, how much understanding and compassion you truly have for other people. And when they act out of character, you do not let that shake you, period, because they don't deserve that, and you don't deserve that. And the reason is because when you can keep the frequency of peace and harmony within your being in any situation, in this example, someone is gaslighting you, you maintain your peace. And so it won't work, because you don't believe the lie, because they would have to convince you of the lie to even be able to gaslight you. So let's remember ourselves little by little. We'll get there.
Maybe it's just I'm making it up in my mind. Yes, you are, right? That's called gaslighting. It's very dismissive, and it's a form of manipulation to control someone. And this is how they control you in the Matrix. Like, they actually have a term called COVIDian. If you don't believe the official story, you are a COVIDian. Right? So gaslighting is how to spot if someone's lying. If they're always gaslighting you, and they're like, hey, it's all in your mind.
Okay, he just said, sorry about the noise in the background. I'm doing this in my van. But yeah, he just said that gaslighting you is like somebody telling you, hey, it's all in your head. First of all, I don't know if we're familiar with the Hermetic principles, but the first Hermetic principle is that all is mental first. All is the mind. Everything you see, everything you can perceive, experience is the mind. It's not your mind, it's not my mind, because you don't own anything. You just get to experience all that you are. So it really depends on how you receive when someone says that, okay, hey, your trouble is happening because you're projecting it. You're projecting it because you're pointing your attention at things that you don't like. Every single day, you're looking for something to become annoyed at. And you will always find what you're looking for. And you'll be like, see, you'll prove it to yourself. And the same goes for if you decide to look externally for peace. You would only be able to see what you are if you know how to maintain peace within yourself. If you have actually done the work, healed your trauma, you've come into a peaceful state, you will be able to notice it within other people. You'll be able to see it, even if these people show you a glimpse of it. If you see it, you'll be able to relate. And so when you talk to them, you can then have compassion because you can relate to where they've been because you've been there before. You can relate to where they are. And so the way you talk to them is not give them advice as if they're external of you. No, you speak to them as if you're talking to yourself, because you are talking to yourself. And that's very hard for us to do because we want to cling on to these altered egos, these false perceptions of self. And that these perceptions are ultimately built based on other people's opinions of us. Somebody told you that you needed to create boundaries because you didn't know how to protect your energy. You didn't know how to protect your energy because you didn't know what your energy was. You didn't know who you are. Now when you've come to a state of knowing, you don't need protection because you know that which is fake does not exist. It's not real and it has no effect. Period. So let's come out of the victim mentality. No, you're not victims. No, these things aren't happening to you. They're happening for you because you keep bringing them in. You keep projecting outwardly. If you understand law of attraction, why you keep attracting situations that are unhealthy, if you are attracting situations that are unhealthy. What is it about your thought process that attracts that to you? You become a magnet. You didn't become a magnet. You've always been everything. And you're only experiencing the guidance that is your thought process, which is your genes, your genetics, which is your ancestry, which is God, everything. And just because you have a feeling doesn't mean that feeling is good or bad. It's just a feeling, and it's a specific direction in which your soul travels. And feeling is a choice. I choose to feel grateful today. Tomorrow I'm going to choose to feel grateful and appreciative. That's a choice. Things happen in my day. Okay. Why would I stress out? What is the reason for me entering a stressful state of being and sharing that with others? What is the benefit of that? There is none. You know, we may turn everything into a joke and laugh all we want. But that's ignorance. Ignoring yourself. Ignoring the truth within yourself. Just because you are who you think you are doesn't mean that that's true. And if everything you've known was a lie, then how do you not know that who you think you are might also be a lie? Because that was built upon the system that you believe is bullshit. You only have a sense of self because of that system, if you've grown up in the system. So spirituality is really about going backwards. It's really about going back to being a child. What is it like to be a child? What is a child? What do they do? How do they learn? Let's continue before I keep talking.
They're lying because anybody that lies to you does not want you to question them.
Also, real quick, from my experiences, coming into being more authentic within myself, you know, whether it's in front of other people or to myself, I'm coming into that state of being now, of being honest. I don't have to tell when someone is lying. If they aren't being fake, I'm just gonna feel it, and I'm not gonna view them as a liar because they don't want to lie. And that's a lie in itself, like the belief that there is such thing as anger. Like anger is a natural human trait, and it's really, really not, because you weren't born out of the womb angry. You weren't. So if at your purest state you weren't angry, then that's not what you are. You can experience that, sure. Just like you can experience a lie. But when we come into noticing liars, just try to listen for their intention. And you could actually be of great service if you can notice how someone is being untruthful to themselves. That's compassionate. You know, being empathic is just being able to put yourself in other people's shoes, and if you were doing what they were doing, that would be considered lying or whatever, you know. That's being empathetic. I mean, so being compassionate is really understanding the other person, becoming that other person, not with your energies, with their mindset, with their feelings, and listening, picturing what it is that they're experiencing. And if it's something that you feel like it's unhealthy for them, try to listen, try to gain an intuitive understanding to be able to speak to them as if you were speaking to yourself, because you are. And it's a great opportunity for healing. And this is the work that we all must be doing, but we're too busy sectioning ourselves out. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's a lot easier to see what's behind the curtains. When people are speaking, I can just see the symbolism. I can see the intention under, not as if these beings are trying to be manipulative or evil. I'm not even saying that about him. I'm just saying in general, anybody. I don't believe anybody is evil. I believe we all just have a lot of ignorance within ourselves and a lot of pain, and nobody. And now it's time for us to learn to embrace one another truly and heal what has been neglected. Really bring attention to it, but loving attention to it.
You see, the truth is you can't hide the truth. That's the good news. You can only suppress the truth. But just like when you want to hold a ball underwater that's inflated, its nature is to come to the surface. You see, the truth is going to come out eventually. But they've got to try and suppress it. Censorship, big tech. Anytime someone says you can't debate me, my word is law, believe what I say, obey me, they're lying to you. You see, the truth doesn't mind if you debate it, because the truth is built on a solid foundation. Lies are built on a house of cards. Slow motion this side. They fall apart very quickly. Now, let me tell you this, deep divers. We often hear it's for your safety. Stay indoors 24/7. It's for your safety. No, safety is another word for control. Hey, a lot of these artists as well, deep divers.
How is safety another word for control? Why would he just say that and move on?
Fast forward. Like Future, they'll tell you in their songs they're sipping lean, but they're not actually sipping lean. In fact, their children go to great private schools, deep divers. So that's how to spot a liar. If they tell you about one thing, but then they do another thing. Even in relationships, they're like, I love you, but you're never there. That's how to spot a lie. You don't love me. If you loved me, you would show me. Don't tell me you love me, show me, right? So, to spot a liar.
Just because you want to be shown love doesn't mean you know how to see love. Especially if you're learning how to love yourself. The rest of your life should be devoted to learning how to love yourself holistically as every living thing. Because you are everything. That's the truth. So when people are like demanding that you show them love, that's kind of weird, because it's like, if you're a loving being, you should be able to see all that you are. You should be able to see how you are everything. You should be able to see the love everywhere. You shouldn't have to demand it. You should allow other beings to exist as they are. That doesn't mean they don't love you. That doesn't mean you shouldn't love them. So I disagree with that.
Their words and actions have to align. Don't trust anyone who says one thing and does another thing.
Okay, so just because someone says one thing doesn't mean you know how that action is supposed to play out. For example, if I tell you that I'm a psychologist and I'm, let's say, 28 years old, and you see this young kid who's supposedly studied psychology for 20 years, you won't automatically look for that, because you believe that if I'm not sitting next to you while you're sitting down on the couch, while you're venting to me and me just assisting you with your problems, that I'm not being a proper psychologist. But that's not true, because psychology deals with the mind, as we know, but how children cultivate their mind is based on what they see. You're a child. You're not an adult. You're not a retard. You're a child. So that means that you operate based off of what you see and perceive. So if you base your vision, your visuals, and your intelligence only in the realm of the 3D, which is the third dimensional realm, which is the doing things with your hands and like seeing it happen with your hands only, then you're not going to understand when someone is properly loving you, because proper love deals with the metaphysical first. It deals with energy first. Like, that's what it is. Everything is made of energy, and it's pretty obvious to notice that if you understood that energy, vibration, and frequency are the language of this realm, are the language of the entire experience that I'm able to experience. So that's like a lie. It's a lie when you expect to see something specific from somebody. It's like, okay, someone says they love you, right? And they have a specific way of loving you. How are you supposed to know that unless they show you? You know what I'm saying? And if they show you, are you able to recognize it? What if someone shows you that they love you, but it's not how you think being loved is? And so you take them for granted. You can't just say that and assume that you know exactly how to be loved, because we're all learning that. So let's like, it's pretty much saying the same as, okay, obey, as what I'm saying. You know, like, listen and obey. Like, you said you love me. Okay, I want you to show me. Show me that you love me. Okay, if you show me and I don't accept it, then that's like dictatorship. It's like trying to control a citizen and trying to make the citizen do what you want it to do so it could, work for you. And then the citizen decides that it wants to love you, but holistically, and then you find out that that's not making you money. It's not exciting you because it's not where you place your interest. Then you can't notice. You can't notice that somebody else is truly loving you because you expect them to be a certain way. So I'm gonna have to skirt that one.
Don't trust anyone who doesn't practice what they preach, deep divers. How does...
You shouldn't have to trust anybody. You shouldn't have to not trust anybody. You should just know where you stand in this experience and what role you play. And then you'll be able to see what role everybody else plays. That's the only way you'll be able to see it, is when you know your role. Or else you'll be trying to tell people how they should act. Like it seems like, he's trying to do. Which I can't really relate to. But I can understand why. He has good intentions, it seems. And he's operating based off of, the many things he's learned in his life.
Spot a liar. Okay, their nose is growing longer. Pinocchio here. The news. Like, someone sent me a video, and on every news station, they were saying the exact same thing. Almost like they were reading off a script. You see, Shakespeare told you, in this matrix, the whole world is a stage. And the media deceive us every single day. They lie to us. They create stories. They tell you it's just a story. And they need your attention. And they spread fear. So, anytime, if you listen to something or even watch something and there's no heart there in how they're telling you the information, don't just listen to the words. Listen to how they're conveying the message. Many times you often realize these politicians, the media, the government...
He was saying, don't listen to the words. But, that's assuming that everybody's capable of listening. You're assuming that just because you speak English, that you comprehend English. And that's not how that works. Because there's intelligent people that speak around dumb people, and dumb people can't understand them. That doesn't mean it's good or bad, but we have to be realistic. Like, the intention is always in the words. It's always in the words. No one can hide their intention. They're just dressing their words up and using them in a specific way. And it kind of sounds like Ralph could potentially be doing that now. But I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt and assume that that's not his intention. So let's stay a little logical here, like just a little bit. Like, people are speaking what they're thinking about. They're speaking what they're focused on. If you really learn how to listen, then you can hear someone's intentions and why they're in your life and what they desire you for. Doesn't have to be good or bad.
When they tell you things, it's like they're reading off a script, because they are reading off a script. It's called a teleprompter. But they're not giving you the information from their heart or their soul. Slow motion this side. Because when you talk from the heart, the truth comes out.
Okay, so you can have a hardened heart and speak from the heart and sound ignorant. Because your heart lacks light. It's not full of light. So, I get it, like he's feeling himself, but no. When you speak from the heart, that doesn't automatically mean what you're saying is truthful. That's not how that works. But when you speak the truth, it'll resonate in your heart. It can resonate with anybody who listens, or anybody has the ability or opportunity to resonate, to relate to what it is that to the truth that you are speaking. And just because someone speaks and you don't feel anything doesn't mean you know what to feel. Because first of all, most of us are confused and ruled by our emotions. What I mean by that is everything is I feel this or I think that. It's never a knowing, and the knowing comes through experience. Like, you've learned a lot of stuff. Okay, I just heard that this teacher said this, and if you keep a positive perspective, then no evil can touch you. Like, just because I heard the professor say that, okay. But if you try it, if you practice it out and you know it's true, you can give examples of how it works, not regurgitate the information. And the reason why you don't want to regurgitate the information is because we are all the information. Like, no one owns information. That's not how that works. Light is information. How can you own light when you are light? How can you own yourself? So I'm going to have to skirt that again, because that wasn't very... I just don't feel like it was thought all the way through. I feel like he was just excited, to share the message, and I get that. However, there's a lot of variables and aspects to consider within the reality that we all share, that I spread myself into. So I'd like to talk about it.
What? Slow motion this side. Look at the eyes, deep divers. The eyes are the windows to the soul. To spot a liar, if they always look away, chances are they're lying. Because the truth looks at you directly in the eyes. It's not afraid. It wants to see you. Do you see me right now, deep divers? That's the truth. Lies have to look away because they'll get exposed otherwise. Also, the body language.
Or they're bored.
Okay, many times people are lying to you when their body language is what we call a very low power pose. Sometimes it's like this. The truth stands proud, open and free.
Yeah, so does arrogance and narcissism. Like, those stand proud. And someone could just be anxious. They can be anxious because you could be over... Not Ralph, but like in an example, someone can be projecting themselves very aggressively or very passionately, and that could be good or bad. It could be somebody just trying to be something, like trying to be this leader or this light, this bright light, and it's gonna blind the people around them. It's gonna intimidate people who may be weaker, who may not see equal amount of value within themselves. That doesn't mean it's a good or a bad thing. However, that doesn't mean that they're about to lie to you. And 9 times out of 10, I agree with what he just said, because that posture, the let's say caged in posture, that like shelling posture, 9 times out of 10 you're most likely to lie, because you don't want to tell the truth, because the one who's being too passionate and confident is not bringing your confidence up. They're competing with you, and as they're competing with you, they're showing you how they're better and better, and they're not actually caring about you. So they're not considering your feelings, which is their job, to remind you of your light, because that's why they're there. Ultimately, they don't know that, which they should, but the reason why they don't know that is because they feel separate from you. So when someone is super confident and bright in your face, and they notice that you're anxious, that doesn't mean you're a liar and you want to lie. No, it means that they're outshining the entire environment. For what? For what benefit? It just seems like for a personal gain. It doesn't seem like for the gain of the all. Because I love being able to notice somebody who may feel a little insecure about themselves in a moment. The reason why I like noticing that is because it's my opportunity to show them that that's not true. To show them how they are great, how they are special in their own unique way, as a part of the all, that we all are. And I love that. So why would I exclude myself from you? Like, okay, someone may be feeling insecure. That's a part of myself. The fact that I'm even seeing that means that exists within me. The fact that I can notice that. So I just had to clean that up.
Okay? They're lying to you through your teeth. Through their teeth.
They're lying to you through your teeth.
They're lying to you through their teeth, deep divers. Spot a liar. You see, if we see how the world is changing so quickly, censorship, okay, the rise of artificial intelligence, a lot of people can't go anywhere without their phone. No, like literally, they can't go anywhere without their phone in this new world because, for instance, in Saudi Arabia, one guy was posting a video saying how on his phone, the QR code, if he wants to go into certain shops, he has to show that, okay, he's been tested and he's had the shot and everything. And if he doesn't have his phone with him, he can't go into any shop. So in this new emerging Orwellian Big Brother state, they've got us hooked on artificial intelligence. And you think that these phones are for you to connect with someone else. No, they're spying on you. They're collecting your data. You see, in this new world, data...
The reason why they're collecting your data is because they're learning from you. Because you are the greatest creation in all of the universe. Everything that we've made has come through the observation of us and nature. Everything that has been made, all of it. There's nothing greater than the organic intelligence. I'm not talking about eating organic food. I'm just talking about like the organic intelligence.
It's all about the data. And whoever controls the data controls the people. So I want you to remind yourself right now, learn to stay as free as you can. They're lying to you through their teeth. Spot a liar. 7-day vegan challenge.
Giving them power by saying they're lying to you. Who's they? They're lying to themselves, if there is a they, because there's truly no, they don't, like, the concept of who they think they are, if there is a they, it doesn't exist. Especially if it doesn't align with this reality, with the earth. If it's going against the earth and our very life, then it's a big fat lie. And the only reason why it's perpetuating is because we believe it. We believe them lying to themselves. Just like when people are gaslighting us. We believe them and the way they're lying to themselves. We believe their lie to themselves. And so we feel like they're lying to us, but we believed it. We took it and believed it.
Wake up every single day with a whole bunch of grapes in my mouth. That's the truth, deep divers. A woman pulled out a hamburger that was over 20 years old. You can Google this. Find out, okay? And the hamburger looked like it was bought yesterday. The meat was the same. The bun was the same. In other words, what the hell was that? Have you ever seen an apple, deep divers, or maybe you've bought one? You put it in the fruit bowl. 3 weeks later, it's the same shiny apple. GMO, right? You can't trust the foods if they don't decay. They're lying to you. Deep divers. They're lying to you through their teeth. spot a liar. Like sometimes when I listen to news reporters and politicians, I'm like, there's no soul there. There's no one in there. It's like they are inorganic, right? So always trust your vibes because the energy does not lie. Slow motion this side. Don't listen to the words that are coming out of someone's mouth. Listen to the subliminal messages, which is the tone of their voice, right? Let me tell you this.
So you can be fooled by someone's tone. You can be completely fooled. I grew up around specific individuals that would use their tone of voice to control the narrative of a conversation, to always be right, just because they were calm, or they spoke faster, or they spoke with more authority. No. That's not... none of that is real. What's real is the words that are being used. Pay attention to the words that are being used, because then you can hear someone's intention, what they're looking for, why they're looking for it. Ask questions. Ask yourself questions. Because if you're paying attention to the tone is going to give you a feeling. And that feeling isn't necessarily right or wrong. But you can't be governed by that uncertainty. Because you're like, oh, my intuition is never wrong. That's because you intend to find what you conclude. You intend to find that. Always. And when you don't find it, don't be one of the beings that will just get upset and run away. Like, learn to be brave and learn to be a child again and discover ignorance. Discover the ignorance from your mind. Because you actually already know all the truth there is to know. But you forgot most of it because you filled in the empty space with concepts. With concepts that limit your mind to these concepts. You are the vastness of space itself. Everything, anything that could be thought of, you are that. Anything that can be experienced, you are. I am. So knowing that, it's not, you don't have to be manipulated by someone else's tone. Just try to really just stay in balance with yourself. Just stay in a state of peace at all times. But you have to learn how to have that. You have to learn how to heal the trauma that still bothers you today, that you still look into your future to find. You're creating the future you're looking for. So I wouldn't say follow or listen to the tone. I wouldn't say that. I would say notice the tone. Don't ignore it. But the tone is not everything. Listen to the tone and what's being said. And then you can make a sound judgment. But that's only if you know how to listen. You know, just because you hear some words and you heard someone say the words in a certain way, and you relate it to a past experience where you heard someone else sound the same way, use the same tone in a negative sense, doesn't mean that in this new experience that's what's happening. Because then you're making an assumption, and that's incorrect. That's a lie. You're living a lie. But I believe in you. I believe that you can come out of that. And I say believe because I'm not sure if you are or aren't doing it, because I don't know you, because you haven't made yourself known to me. Let's wrap this up.
Deep divers. Lies cannot stand next to the truth. What? Slow motion this
That's
side.
a fact.
Lies cannot stand next to the truth. That's how to spot a liar. They want the truth out of here. They want to censor the truth. They want to censor the truth. They want to hide the truth. They want to suppress the truth. They are intimidated by the truth. Okay? They don't want you to think for yourself. They want to control the narrative, and that's exactly what's happening. The good news is that millions of people are waking up, no longer allowing themselves to drink the Kool-Aid. This won't be another Jamestown, because people are waking up and saying, we ain't having it. Being free is our birthright. We came here to breathe in that good ass prana, baby. We didn't come here to be in lockdown 24/7. We came here to do a little samba, baby, with a cat down the road, and then just say, feels so good to be alive, baby. Can I get a hello there? The truth can stand alone. Lies need a whole load of stories. Lies need to convince you, persuade you, manipulate you. The truth speaks for itself.
Lies came from the misuse of truth. Remember I said that.
Oh, I like that, deep divers.
I bet you do.
Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. Shout out to everyone who's been getting the wonderful.
Okay. So that was my thoughts on that video. Hopefully we can have an open discussion about what I may have said. And if you find any of what I've said to be relatable, you know, I'd like to hear how it relates to you, or how you've seen this in your everyday life. Yeah, hopefully I can learn how to be better at speaking, because blah blah blah, like, you know. Alright, I love you all because I love myself, and I'm all of you, and I live to serve you, and I'll be doing this more often. And peace.